It would help if I switched the right camera on. Welcome to Leicester Fan TV. It's Monday night. My name is Phil. We are live every Monday, 7:30 till 8. Get your views in, get your comments in. This is your show. We want to know what you want to talk about. Do you want to talk about West Ham now, Leicester 2? You probably do want to have a little bit of a chat about that. I want to ask you guys, what has changed at City? What's the big things that we were so poor for the first 7 or 8 games and we've been so good since then? What has been going on in there? Obviously, we can talk about Maddison and England for those of you who want to. MK Dons in the Cup, a little bit of a look forward to that in 5 or 6 weeks. So there's so much to talk about. But as ever, this is your show, your fan zone. We'll talk about everything that you want to talk about. So get your views in the next 28 minutes.
Thanks for watching Leicester Fan TV. Thanks to our sponsors, ADT Taxis, Everards, Pukka Pies, Pink Car Leasing, Leicester Riders, Hollogram, The Fox's Arms, Peter's Pizzeria, Hope Against Cancer, and Newby Co estate agents. Make sure to follow us on all of our social channels at Leicester Fan TV. Visit our website, leicesterfantv.com.
So there we go. I've given you some topics to talk about, but this is your show. We want your views, your comments, which we're going to get onto. Don't forget, you can follow us at Leicester Fan TV on all the socials, including TikTok. Pop over there, and YouTube. Subscribe there. It's all for free. Somebody said to me earlier, "What? No, it's all for free. We don't do anything. It's just fun. It is us fans for you fans. Get your views in, get your comments in." Matt, good evening. Hope you're all right. Do you know what, Matt? Can you see? I've hurt my eye. I feel like a bit like what's his face from the Goonids tonight, but bear with me. I'm just a little bit more scary than normal, Matty. Jonathan says Madders will barely get a minute for England. Well, do you agree? It surely Southgate's going to put him behind Grealish, behind Blur, and he doesn't play Grealish, so I don't think he just needs to come on, maybe Jonathan, and have a few good touches, score a wonder goal, and his England career could be changed. LCFC Gray says, well, we have been well and truly turned the corner. The players' body language is totally positive, and the new set-piece coach and Wout phase are the big difference. I asked you, what has changed at Leicester? Get your views in, get your comments in, because it was awful to start with, and we've got Jono who's going to join us in a minute. You remember Jono does loads with us, lots of watch-along stuff, loads of content. He said he'd had enough. He said, I'm not watching it anymore, but he has done a U-turn, which he's absolutely allowed to. And he's going to come and tell us how much of a U-turn he's done. Nick says, evening, table looking better. How are you feeling about the WC? I don't need the toilet. Oh, you mean World Cup? I think it's come at the wrong time. It has come at the wrong time. We could do with carrying on. It's going to be very strange, but at least we're in a semi-decent position. But I don't want people to get carried away with it. We are in 13th place with 17 points. Boy, oh boy, is that better than it was 7 or 8 games ago. But we are currently 4 points off the bottom 3 and 4 points off 7th. So how is your take on this match? LCFC Gray says, agreed, Madders will be the second fiddle to a very average Mount when he is head and shoulders above Mount. Well, I think it'll be behind Grealish as well, if you ask me. Andy says, Lars Knudsen, have I said that right, has turned it around for us. Obviously, the set-piece coach, him, Wout Pies, Danny Ward hitting form. What is it going on there? In there, Dorco says, I want an England v Belgium World Cup final. Who would you support, Dorco? Obviously, we were just chatting off air before we came on, me and Jono. Belgium is a bit like Leicester's B-side. Could be. 3 Leicester players could feature in that. Terry says, Madders will have his head turned at the World Cup is my word. Terry, do you know what? I hadn't even thought about that. Thank you for putting that fear into me. You're right. He is. When they go to play with England, you're right. They'll get chatting with all the players from Chelsea, all the players from Man United, Liverpool, all that. You've got a point, you know. And I guess we could start to talk about who could come and go in January. Evening, says Dave, I don't think Maddison will get any time on the pitch. Yeah, I think I've got a feeling you could be right with that. Patrick says Maddison only got picked to stop Southgate getting pelters into the press. Would he have picked in a 23-man squad, which is the norm for the World Cup? I'm not sure. You could be right there, Patrick. You could well be right. Julian says, thank God for... Is that Julian? From Julian the Printers? I'm just thinking it might be. It's basically down to him, a proper leader at last. Wand. Julian, is that you from Big City Printers? Let me know if it is. Jamie says, Maddison should start games. Don't think he will, though, Jamie. Do you? Andy says, main thing is we are above Forest. We are, but listen, Forest won. We are only 4 points ahead of Forest. I think a lot of us would have liked to have thought we were well ahead of Forest by this time in this evening. Good evening, Richie. Hope you're well. Julian, yes, it is you. You're right, mate. Good. Big City Graphics. If you ever need any print work, I could do with some print work, Julian. I'll give you a shout. Nick says we need Yuri to have a decent World Cup so we can get a decent price in January if he doesn't sign a new deal. What do you think to what Nick said there? Got a point, maybe, because if you carry on with Yuri's looked in great form, shop window form, if you ask me. But if we keep him till May, he's worth nothing. So do you cash out on Yuri in January? What could you get for him? If he scores a World Cup wonder goal, he certainly is in that shot window at the World Cup. I'm going to add Jono in. I want you to keep getting your comments in. And if anybody wants to come on and give us the video views, I'm going to share the link now in the chat. But while I just share that, let's add Jono in. And then I'll be getting Ross in as well shortly. Jono, welcome back to Leicester Fan TV. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Better state than we were in 5 or 6 weeks ago, but yeah, good.
Now, people will remember that obviously I know Jono does loads of stuff with us, and fair enough, probably about 6 weeks ago came on and was like, yeah, I'm down in the dumps with it all, to put it mildly, weren't you, Jono? But you are, I'm going to say you've done a U-turn, but maybe not a U-turn. Is that, you describe it?
I'm not a U-turn, but I would say I'm happier with the way we've dealt with the situation with player management. Set piece coach was an absolute must. And Brendan Rodgers' player management, I think that's where it's turned for me. Not necessarily the results, because we could have been playing great and not getting results and then would have still been on board. But I'm happy that we've managed to turn a corner. That's where I'm happy with.
How much, Jono, do you put it down to? A couple of comments here. Andrew says, Wout Faes is a beast. Julian asks, is Faes going to the World Cup? He is, yeah, he's going with Belgium. How much do you put the change down to Wout Faes?
You got to put some of it on him, because we all know that Fofana caused a massive issue with not just the transfer window, but in the back room. It has a knock-on effect, and it showed. I'm not going to go into how much I dislike him, but I'm happy he's gone. He's gone. It took a while for him to go. When he did go, we were in a rut, but now Wout Faes has come in. He's an absolute leader. He's just a leader. He told everyone where to be. He's not a mess around defender. He gets the ball and he gets the hell rid of it. That's what we needed. We needed to play lots of faff around. We need to get the ball out and make progress. That's what he's done.
Yeah, so I think a lot of fans agree, obviously, that Wout Faes made a big difference. Jamie says here the set-piece coach deserves massive credit as well. It was a bit like a double whammy in defence, because the goals conceded, I'm no stat man, Jono, but up until 7 or 8 games, we were like the leakiest defence in the land.
Well, even last season, we conceded 21 goals from set pieces. This season, we conceded 22 goals in the first 7 games, which is a new Premier League record. We needed change, and the 4 people I put down for changing is the set piece coach, Danny Ward, James Maddison, and Wout Faes. So the 4 people, I think without those 4 people, we'll be in proper trouble.
Yeah, Amir says here, just like when we signed Huth, the Great Escape started. Something with Wout Faes. Get 150 million get out clause for him. Already looking at him there. I'm going to add Ross in. Ross is doing one of his usual walkarounds. Ross, mate, where
are you?
I want to know where you are. Where? Yeah. Good evening.
I've just got off train from work, so I'm nearly home in a sec. So, yeah.
So Ross is just listen, Ross. How far are you from home, mate?
I'll have to have a look. Well, it's quite nice and quiet, actually, to be fair.
Oh, okay. Well, you carry on then. Ross, we were just talking there about what's the change in Leicester City? What's changed?
Well, Jono said it's took words out my mouth, but I'm going to have Yuri Tielemans in there since he's been captain. Because, since he's been captain, obviously, there's been a few doubts and stuff. Obviously, why give captaincy if he doesn't want to play for us, blah, blah, blah. Since he's been captain, he's been a better player. Scored a few, scored a few worldies. Obviously, the only reason he didn't score the other day because he was in the penalty box. If he was outside the box, that would have gone in. Like, let's be honest.
Yeah, indeed. A few people saying that since Yuri's been made captain, Jono, has that built him up? Or I just get this feeling: is he playing the shop window? Or what's changed with Yuri? He's suddenly gone from somebody who looked pretty uninterested to somebody who's, turning in a good performances, 7, 8, 9, 10s out of 10 every week.
Maybe I don't want to get everyone's hopes up and say he's definitely staying. I don't think he's staying. I think he's gone.
No, I don't think he is.
But I think he's just realised that he wasn't going to go in the summer, so he's not put his head down and just playing the football he's good at. Maybe he's playing for a transfer, but as long as he's not like Fofana and causing a massive stir in the club, he's doing his job and playing well, and that's the way it should be done. If you want to go, fair enough, but do it in the professional manner like he's doing.
To be honest, that's what Yuri's been doing. He's been doing it in a professional manner way. So did Maguire, to be fair, Yeah,
Maguire did. Mahrez didn't. Mahrez didn't, and Fofana didn't. And those players are disrespecting that manner because...
the Mahrez one is a bit strange. Because obviously, he refused to play, and then he came back and redeemed himself quite a bit just before he left. Fofana, on the other hand, obviously refused to play and then didn't play again. So
yeah, and I think I'm a big Mahrez fan, and I think if you really got to the nitty gritty of that, Jono, he was sold a kipper because he was told if a big offer came in, he'd done enough for Leicester.
I don't disrespect Fofana. I don't disrespect Mahrez. I still rate him as a player, but he did have that one occasion where he didn't come to training a few times. But so I do respect for Mahrez more, but for Fofana, I don't have any ounce of respect for whatsoever.
To be honest, since he's gone there, Chelsea have hardly won.
He's had an injury. He's had a bad injury, so that's why he's not playing. But
sticky on Leicester, lads. I'll come to you on this, Ross. Peter says Amarty's been playing well too, and then there was another comment on Amarty from Nick here. Says Wout Fez, I always get it wrong. Says makes Big Dan steady for me, and Evans doesn't get back into the team straight away. He'd have to earn that place back. Daniel Amarty has been picked for the World Cup, Ross. Played ever so well at West Ham as well, I thought, didn't he?
Absolutely fantastic.
Dan Amarty.
Absolutely fantastic, Felipe. But he's been, like I say, he's more steady since obviously Faz has come in. Faz ain't come in just to be a Johnny Evans sidekick. He's come in and he is the leader. He's like Batman to Amarty's Robin. Because if you think about it, every centre back that's come in since Johnny Evans has been at the club, they've been like a fiddle. Maguire, Fofana, Soyuncu. They've all been a counterpart to Evans, and now Faz has come in, and he's taken over that role. He said to Evans, "Listen, lad, I'm taking role." So in a bit, obviously in a nicer way, but and obviously Amarty is now what Soyuncu is and what Fofana was as a sidekick. And he's not. It's funny. I imagine that goal went in the other day when he had that shot. Oh, that would have been absolutely brilliant if he'd have scored that. I mean, see what happens if it got in the World Cup. Who knows? See what happens. Gardner one year got to the semi. Didn't he get to the quarterfinals one year? They were like one kick away from getting to the semi-finals, and they got cheated out by Suarez. So see what happens. And obviously, you mentioned about Maddison. Obviously, just before I came on, I said I think he only got picked because of the media pressure. Pressure got to Southgate, so I've got to pick him. But I don't think he would have picked him if it not been for the media. If I'm honest.
Yes, I think you might be onto something. Although the media really all they were doing, Jono, for Matters, was pointing out his pretty darn amazing top of the table stats. So it was a bit of a no-brainer. Gareth Southgate came in as England manager back when he took over and said, I'm going to do it differently to previous England managers. I'm picking players on form, which he did do to start with, but it feels like recently he settled into his
typical big name. I
levels.
pick big names only. So to be honest, he's not stuck. Even this World Cup, he's not stuck to his word. If he was with his word, Ivan Toney would have gone. 1,000,000%. Ivan Toney would have gone. He's one of the best. Him and Wilson, for me, are the two best strikers in the UK at the moment. Kane obviously is going to start, but you know, if you're going to pick players on form, pick them in form. Maddison only went, as Ross said, because the pressure of the media say, look, these are Maddison's stats. They're the best in the midfielders. You need to pick him. But
yeah,
I think it
makes sense. Liam says Barnes has been finding the net as well. Barnes is one of those Ross. I find him quite infuriating players because on his day he can be almost unplayable and has got a great shot. On other days he can't hit a barn door.
Do you know what it reminds me of? Knockout.
I was going to say Jeff Schlupp, but
no. The reason I say Knockout because as much as how amazing Knockout was of his skills and his goals and stuff, he was annoying, meaning frustrating to watch because you're like, oh, stop doing all that like other stuff. And then obviously then he just repaid it by scoring beauties and, you know, doing stuff. So it just reminds me a bit of him a little bit. Right.
Oh, Knockout's still Knockout's one of my favourite players of all time.
Oh, I'd love to see him in the City shirt one more time.
I used to love Knockout. Anyway, yes. Patrick says here, if picking players on form, Maddison should have played in the Nations League Cups. Amati is emu to Waz's Rod Hull, says Keith. What a great analogy there. Well, I think he's saying that. Where is it? He's effectively saying that Waz Farhout has like got Dan Amati playing well because he's sort of got him like a puppet. Like he looks after him, which we always used to say about Evans was bringing the best out of players. Wes Farhout looks like he's going to go on to be potentially club captain and all sorts for Leicester, if you ask me. Matty says here, Schlupp isn't worthy of polishing Harvey Barnes' boots. Although, Matty, I'm going to say to you, Jeff Schlupp, much as I thought, is he going to make it, isn't he going to make it? He's had a long established Premier League career playing at Palace.
So he came from our academy and then we sold him for like £16 million to Palace. And I saw his debut against Rotherham back when he was German. And then he changed
stuck it out. Barnes beats a defender that doesn't bother, says Terry. I think there are some games where Barnes fancies it, Jono.
Barnes is, he's some games you're thinking, he's an absolute beast. Like this season, he's been a beast. Like any right back would be like, I'm against Barnes, I'm in trouble. Because the pass against Perez, the pass that Perez gave to him against Wolves, like no defender had a chance against him because or keeper, it was that good of a goal. But it's just frustrating. He can't deliver that sort of quality. He's not consistent in his quality. Some games he's quite selfish and just takes a shot. Some games he's quite passive and doesn't take a shot, but he should do. So he needs that more experience in when to do a certain thing and when not to do it. But when he does do it right, he's excellent.
Reedy's clicked on the link. Reedy, are you eating your dinner or are you coming in?
Oh, what's he got to eat? That's my job.
He's coming in.
Reedy, what are you eating, mate?
Bit of crumble.
Bit of crumble? You can't come... Reedy, you can't come on my Monday night show eating apple crumble, you dirty dog.
It's my job to...
He's got to finish his mouth full. He's got no manners, Ross, has he?
If it's blackberry crumble, it's fine.
Unlike my manners, I tell you what I'm having before.
No, he's rushing it. No, he's rushing it.
Look, he's bolting it down. He'll get indigestion.
No, don't get him on, Phil. Don't get him on.
Yeah. Nick says, Reedy's happy because Forest won. Trust me, Reedy's in our office with us, Nick. And there's times we rib him about it. I think he is a secret Forest fan. Honestly. Mind you, Ross. What shirt you got on, mate? What shirt you got on?
It's a work top. I have to wear it, unfortunately. It's a work top.
There he is. Go on then, Reedy. Finish that mouthful and you can join the debate. We've had a few people saying, would you bring in Jay Lings?
I think he means Jesse Lingard, I think. Yeah, I presume he means him.
Yeah, he does mean Jesse Lingard, yeah.
Does that mean Mr. Instagram? Okay, fair enough.
Reedy's Leicester Fan TV logos fell off his shirt.
No.
No, you mean, look, AD, he means this. Where is it,
Oh.
Ross? Reedy.
Oh, it's up there.
You need to get it on, pal. You need to represent the, Leicester Fan TV. Get it on, pal.
He didn't want to spill crumble down it. Reedy, a little bit of chit chat just there about Johnny Evans and the Daniel Amati and Wout Fies thing. I know. I'm throwing a ball up for you, Reedy. Talk us on your take on that, because you were at West Ham, obviously.
Yeah, I think Amati deserves his starts recently. I think he's obviously been decent. Oh, yes, there's a few bits in him that you'd probably be a bit nervous at. But again, I think Ross put it spot on that now Faze has come in. I think he's been the leader that we need. And I feel like as well, giving captain to Tielemans, maybe he gives him a bit more of a boost in midfield and performing better. So for me, I'm glad that Evans is out, and as much as he's probably going to be back fit and probably come straight back into the team after the World Cup, I don't think he should be.
Oh. I've got to. I mean, listen, it's all happened, didn't it, at one point? And this is the bit we can't quite put our fingers on it. We had Wout Fies comes into the club. You have the technical coach at the set pieces and at the back, and he does a lot more than just set pieces. You have that. You have that helps Danny Ward, I think, find a lot of form. And then you have Johnny Evans getting injured. So it is a whole mix of these things, isn't it, Reedy?
The way I see it is this: the moment Evans got dropped or got injured, I think I don't know what game it was. I think maybe it was the game before Spurs. And I think since then, the performances have been better in defence. And is that because of a set piece coach? Is that because Evans was out? I'm not too sure. But like I say, it's a combination of things that have made us improve. And I just think maybe Evans, as one of them, has been one of the problems, I guess. But then again, he is getting older, more injury prone. I wouldn't expect anything less.
I would say though, I think we should definitely keep him as long as we can. Because
Yes.
like Michael, he's a very he has a lot of experience with other players. He's won the Premier League multiple times with Manchester United. He's an international player. He's played some of the biggest games in football. So you definitely need him as a sort of inspiration. And
He should be like a Wes Morgan kind of role.
Yeah, like a Wes Morgan character. We miss that sort of character. So definitely keep him. But I agree with Reedy where he shouldn't be as involved as much. Let what tactics are working now stay in, and him be the sort of person in the back saying this is what you should do in this certain situation.
Lads, we've got about 5 or 6 minutes to go, and we can touch on. Obviously, we've got 5 or 6 weeks before the transfer window changes. Don's saying what's happened to Soyuncu, which I'll come on to you, Ross, with that one. But what's happened to Soyuncu, and who do you think? Because I've got a feeling Soyuncu could be somebody who goes in January. Who do you think, Ross, might we let go in January?
Oh, that's a big question. Obviously, Tielemans, obviously, all that. There's been talks with Arsenal and apparently Barcelona are looking at him and stuff like that. I think, obviously, you've got Soyuncu. I mean, I don't think Soyuncu will leave Permo. I think he'll get a loan. I think he'll get a loan first to a club in. He came from the Bundesliga. Is that right? If I'm right in saying. Yeah, I think he could go back to Bundesliga. Maybe, I don't know, on a loan.
Doesn't his contract end at the end of this season?
Yeah, I think he's got quite a few players. Yeah, there's a lot of people.
That's what it might be. So I reckon he'll get a loan first, and then I think he'll leave at the end of the season. But the question obviously who would go to. You've got a few players in there that could leave. I mean, maybe Nacho wants a loan out. Who else you got? Well, I don't want him to go on Permo, but Daniel Everson could go out on loan again. But problem is though, Ward is our number 1 at the minute, and Ali read his humble pie. Obviously, that he's met, but he's done really well. Danny Ward recently, 6 clean sheets.
He needs a lot of. All of us need to eat our words and say how well Danny Ward's done.
That pie left there, Reedy.
Yeah, we need some of Reedy's crumble to eat it, because Danny Ward has been amazing.
I'll admit it. I The one reason I was Rodgers out was because Rodgers was picking the wrong players in the
Yeah.
likes of Ward, Yori Tielemans at times, but now it's obviously proven in the long run or in the longer run this season that it is showing to be the right choices, I guess.
And obviously, what I find interesting as well, just about, this is about the games. Obviously, our next game, obviously, is Newcastle in the league. But is anyone actually, is it me or is anyone looking forward to Milton Keynes away? Is it?
Yeah, we were talking about that in the office. So we are looking forward to it.
I don't say that last bit because they don't deserve that last bit of their name. To me, they're just Milton Keynes. They're franchise.
Not MP Dons, are they?
No, they're not the Dons. And I will argue this till the cows come home. They are known as Milton Keynes. They stole a club. So they're franchise FC. I mean, last time we played them, I don't know if you were there, Felipe, or, Reedy was probably too young. But Max Gradle, 97th minute equaliser. I don't know if you were there, Phil, at all.
That's a long time ago, that is
Max
Gradle.
Yeah,
2007.
No,
Ross, you're quite young, but I bet you're 50 at heart, aren't you? You're
basically,
50 at heart.
more of the story is
Really?
we were 2-1 down against Milton Keynes. There were 5 minutes of added on time, but we decided to have a free kick in the 97th minute. Google it. It's actually quite a famous goal from Max Gradle. Scores it. Boom.
How do you remember this stuff?
Isn't Max Gradle the one who played for Bournemouth?
Look, Ross, Reedy, 2009, Reedy was a Forest fan back then. So
yeah,
don't
true.
try
That's
and
a good point.
get him
That's
on.
a good point. That's a very good point, to be fair. But some people in the comments will remember that game against the Kings. But I think they'll give us a lot, because it's not far, to be fair, Leicester to Milton Keynes.
Because we're not County fan back then, Phil.
Listen, before we got a couple of minutes to go. Pete, let's start with you, Jono, and then who would you like? What sort of player would you like to see us bring in? Because there is rumours now that there might be some funds released in January, some of the Fofana money. Where do we need to strengthen?
Right back, 1,000,000% a right back. Ricardo Perez was injury prone. He's more easier to break than an eggshell.
Wow.
So we need a right back. John Justin is out until the end of the season. Lou Thomas, we can't rely on him all season, so we need a defender. I'll get a midfielder in because if Tielemans is going. So for me, a right back and a midfielder. For me,
Reedy, what would you think to Jono's?
As much as I would get a replacement. A kind of backup right back. I feel like Castagne's decent. I think Ricardo will come back, and then if one of them get injured, the other one will still take their place. I don't think we're that badly needed in a right back. The main position, like Scott Ryan just said, is a winger. As much as Maddison's been playing well in that right wing spot, he's not a winger, and you want him in his best place, his best position. So I'd rather have somebody come in that role and then put him back in that midfield. And then other than that, I'd maybe bring a defender in because Sunchu probably will go either in January or the summer. So I think we'll need another defender in to cover that replacement.
Yeah, Ross, how about you?
Well, there's always Ronaldo.
I'd rather not, thanks.
no, I don't want Ronaldo.
He's a fantastic player. He would not come to Leicester.
No, I know. Well, saying that,
I'd have him at Leicester.
Have you heard about that?
Anybody says they wouldn't have Ronaldo at Leicester, I think it's got a screw loose.
I wouldn't.
I'd take it. Right,
Well,
come on,
Reedy wouldn't have Ronaldo at Leicester, thus proving my point. Thanks, Reedy. Ross, let's get back to reality.
Well, just to clarify, people, Max Gradle is now at a Turkish club called Sivasspor. So I've just Googled it. But no, on a serious note, just before I go that, there's a non-league team that have offered to take Erling Haaland on loan for 30 days.
I've heard that.
But anyway, although I like to bring him, that's a big question. I like to see a winger, obviously. I think, believe it or not, and a lot of people will shoot me down on this. Do you know, obviously, Adama Traore? I think we could get the best out of him. Some players.
I would have him. I would have Traore because remember the first game of last season. If Traore had his shooting boots on, we would have lost 4-0 because he was outstanding.
It's a good point, but again, some players are fit at certain clubs, and I think Adama would fit really well at Leicester. I think, obviously, with the pace and stuff, obviously, if Perez does leave, obviously, goes wherever he's going. You know, obviously, believe it or not, this guy was on loan at Barcelona last season. You know, listen, we had Dennis Wise, and he was more of a screw loose than Ronaldo. So
Such a small man.
yeah, trust me.
Scott, I mean, I'm quite intrigued to hear none of you really say about a winger where we spent but you did. We spent all of the who's that, Reedy?
Yeah. No, I was saying that we need to get a replacement for right mid because we've not.
Oh no, we've got Perez. He's proven himself last game.
Oh, it's a centre forward, yes, not a winger. Apparently we have been linked to that Boga again from Atlanta, but I wouldn't want him because we literally just gave him the better replacement for him anyway in Lookman. So
I know Lookman's doing very well at Atalanta, isn't he?
scored another penalty.
Yeah, nice one. But no, I mean, like I said, just a winger, and I think that's pretty much it. I think we might need, as you know, as Reedy the Forest fan said, you know, I think we need a right, probably, you know, to Double J, just throwing at, you know, hope James Justin recovers well from his Achilles injury.
Brilliant. Listen, I don't know where Ross has gone. He's suddenly gone. Reedy, we do give you some stick, but you know we love you, mate. You can take it.
I can always take it.
Listen, lads, thanks so much for joining us today. We're going to wrap it up there because it's 8 o'clock. Look forward to it. We'll be doing lots of lesson stuff over the World Cup and bringing you all the latest news. So, Jono, thanks for joining us.
See you later.
Cheers for that, Reedy. We'll see you tomorrow. Cheers, pal.
Bye. Bye.
It's back off to the City Ground in Nottingham. See you, Reedy. Bless his little cotton socks. We tease him. He's a little one. We like to tease him. He's not. Of course, he's a Leicester fan. Thanks for all your views and comments. Listen, it feels like this is a bit at the end of the season, but it isn't. We've just got this 5-6 week break, which is called the World Cup. It's going to be strange. We'll be doing some content. We're not quite sure what yet because we'll be talking about how Leicester players are doing. Obviously, we've got 3 in the Belgium side. We've got 1 in the England side. We've got Mendy. We've got Amati. Who thought we'd have Danny and Amati in the World Cup finals? Well, we have. So we'll be doing some of that content. And of course, there will be, I'm sure, lots of transfer rumours building up towards the December sort of time. And I think the World Cup's going to bring some of that in. So thanks, Phil. Thanks for all your views. Thanks for all your comments. LCFC Gray, thanks. AD, thanks. Will, thanks. Scott. And Don, great to see Don. You must come on again, mate. We want to get Don Cole on. Not seen you on recently, so come on next time, Don. Listen, from me, Phil, here every Monday night, talking all sorts of Leicester City nonsense with you lot. We're fans, you're fans. We love it, and thank goodness we're doing a little bit better in the league. A lot better in the league. That's what we like to see. See you on the next show. Cheers.
Thanks for watching Leicester Fan TV. Thanks to our sponsors, ADT Taxis, Everards, Pukka Pies, Pink Car Leasing, Leicester Riders, Hollogram, The Fox's Arms, Peter's Pizzeria, Hope Against Cancer, and Newby Co estate agents. Make sure to follow us on all of our social channels at Leicester Fan TV. Visit our website, leicesterfantv.com.
And every week, I forget to tell you about the Fanzone down at Morningside Arena. So if you fancy coming to watch England play against USA and Wales in particular on the 25th and 29th, the Iran game's on at 1 o'clock. Nightmare. But the other two, the Friday and the Tuesday game, come and join us down at the Morningside Arena. Biggest fan zone, indoor fan zone, we think, in Leicestershire, if not England. There's hopefully up to about 3,000 fans in there. You can grab your tickets. It's 10 quid to get in. And that gets you your first pint as well. So a great indoor atmosphere. They've got giant screens there. So come and join us. Some of us from Leicester Fan TV will be down there. Anyway, I should have said that earlier. See you later.